Hi everyone, my name is Natalie. Today I wanted to do my Springathon TBR, so I believe the announcement link as always in the description below. It is a readathon all about nature writing. It starts on May the 1st and I'm co-hosting with a group of people. I will link, as I said, the announcement below where you can find more information if you would like to participate. So this is basically, since the Springathon is the first 2 weeks of May, this is basically my May TBR for the first half of the month. I have some other reading plans for the second half involving invisible cities. So I have a pile of books here. I am not likely to read all of them, and it's not even sure that I'll actually be choosing from these, because TBR for me is always something that is just a suggestion of titles to choose from rather than being strict reading plans, and I don't take it very seriously. However, I think the pile that I have pretty well reflects the kind of interest I have at the moment. So as I mentioned in my previous video where I talked about books inspiring wanderlust, one of the books that I've recently read has sort of refueled my interest in books related to water. Actually, several books that I've recently read has refueled that interest. Water is sort of a red thread in my TBR for a lot of the books. The Springathon has a few prompts that you can use if you want to or not, and they are very much open for interpretation. I chose the books I wanted to read before figuring out how they fit into the prompts, so obviously I don't take them very strictly either. It's basically meant to inspire you if you need them or to just play around with them. They're not meant to be restricting. First up we have Spirals in Time, The Secret Life and Curious Afterlife of Seashells by Helen. This is a very popular nature writer that I haven't got into yet, and this one obviously is about seashells and about the creatures that create them. So it's about mollusks, and it's an area of marine life that I've been drawn to because of reading about octopuses and jellyfish, so this is sort of a continuation with that theme. For me, this works both as bloom and decay because of the way that she talks about the fact that these a lot of these animals are ancient life forms, so obviously they have been blooming for centuries, and decay in the sense that a lot of marine life is decaying because of the current situation with climate change. The next one I have could definitely work for the decay prompt, but could also work for migration and home. And this is a fiction book, a Swedish fiction book called Bara, någon, straffa by Kristoffer Ahlström. This is set in Gotland, which is a Swedish island on the eastern coast. And it is very rich in bird life in particular, which is one of the reasons I'm really drawn to the setting. So this book is about a man who grew up in Gotland and moved away as an adult, and then moves back to the island when his mother passes away. And then he tries to rescue the farm or the land that they owned, the family owned, that she had sold off at the end of her life. That is the impression I get from the description of this. The next one I just recently bought in preparation for the Springathon, and that is Waterlog by Roger Deakin, and this one is a swimming memoir. So it says, in 1996, Roger Deakin, the late great nature writer, set out to swim through the British Isles. The reason I specifically picked this one up is in part because I wanted more swimming books after reading Turning by Jessica J. Lee, and she also specifically references this book, so I figured it was the perfect time to just pick this one up and continue on in the same vein. And I am someone who's really drawn to swimming writing, so obviously this fits perfectly with migration in the sense of traveling and in the sense of home, because he obviously explores Britain and he is British, so he's exploring his own country through the waters in it, and in all of its richness, and I think that sounds fantastic. I'm very excited about this one. The next one again works perfectly for the pairing of migration home, and that is Two Trees Make a Forest. On memory migration in Taiwan, and this is by Jessica J. Lee. As I mentioned, I just read Turning by her in April, and I wanted to continue on with my exploration with her. She was born in Canada, I think, or lived her early life in Canada, Her father is Scottish and her mother is Taiwanese, and so I think this is partly her going to Taiwan and sort of connecting with that part of her heritage and learning about the Taiwanese wildlife and climate. It sounds like it sort of captures all the things that I'm interested in, nature and linguistics and identity and sort of biracial experiences. All of these things combined into this one. I have a good feeling about this one. Next up we have my pick for Forage, and that is The Way Through the Woods by Litt, Woon. This is also the group read for the Springathon that coincides with the Book Naturalist selection for May. The other book they have for this month is Entangled Life. That is a fantastic book. Highly recommend checking that one out as well. This is a nature/grief memoir, so it talks about Litt Woon. After her husband passes away, she is taking up lessons about mushroom picking, and she finds solace and comfort in learning about mushrooms and in getting outside and in search for them, is the impression I get from the description of this. So this is the Swedish translation from the Norwegian original. I figured that made more sense for me, but it is obviously translated into English, and I will link that version below. And I'm really excited about this. You probably already know that I have an interest in mushrooms and fungi, and the mushroom picking obviously very much relates to forage as a theme. The next book I think could probably work for the migration home aspect as well, but I've chosen it for Hibernate, and that is Call of the Undertow by Linda Cracknell. This is another fiction book. Cartographer Maggie Thame has left her modern urban life in Oxford and retreated to a remote village at Scotland's most northern and storm-battered edge. It is clear she is running from something, hoping to forget and be forgotten. But to the villagers, the question remains, what is she hiding from? So it sounds like she is escaping something and goes in sort of hibernation in this very remote location to either reflect on what has happened or to for a while shut everything out. For me, that sounded very much like a hibernation period in her life. The main reason I decided to pick this one for my Springathon TBR is because of the Scottish setting, and after reading The Valley at the Centre of the World, I'm dying to read anything in a similar vein. Next up we have my choice for Buzz, so that is Undiscovered, The Undiscovered Islands, an archipelago of myths, mysteries, phantoms and fakes by Malachy, Tallack, and illustrated by Katie Scott. So as I mentioned, I read The Valley at the Centre of the World in April and really enjoyed that, and this is by the same author. So with both Jessica J. Lee and Malachy Tallack, I wanted to immediately continue on with their writing. Discovered 24 islands once believed to be real but no longer on the map. Explore products of imagination, deception and human error, an archipelago of ex-islands and forgotten islands. And forgotten lands. From the island of the Seven Cities to the cold north of Thule and the lost island of Lemuria, and from ancient history right up to the present day, this is an atlas of legend and wonder with wondrous illustrations throughout. So I figured Buzz in the sense of it's buzzy things, so there's been a lot of talk and myth making and storytelling around these places, but they don't actually exist. Probably a vague interpretation of the prompt, but that was sort of the idea I had. This could obviously easily work for migration as well, because it's travel related and map with another map theme. The last one I have is my choice for Stillness, and that is Sea Room and Island Life by Adam Nicolson. As I mentioned, I mean, the island setting is very much a strong theme in my choices this year. But this is by the author of The Seabird's Cry that I read a few years ago. It's a fantastic book, highly recommend, and this is a memoir. Sea Room describes the Cheyennes, so it's obviously a specific island that I'm unfamiliar with, as a microcosm of richness, their long and at times painful history combined with a natural world at its most potent. This is not the account of a castaway on a deserted rock, but its opposite, a celebration of the life which an extraordinary island enshrines. The stillness, it just sounded like With a lot of the books related to islands, the pacing of life on the islands has a sort of stillness to them. So those are all of the books that I have for my Springathon TBR 2021. I would love to know if you've read any of these and what your thoughts are. And I would love to know what you are planning to read for Springathon this year. If you have made your TBR, feel free to link it below, or just share the books you are planning or hoping to read this first 2 weeks of May. If you have any recommendations for water-related books, be it fiction or non-fiction, island settings, sea settings, coastal, marine life, swimming, all of the things, please feel free to share that. I would very much appreciate it. So that was all I wanted to say. I hope you're doing well and you're taking care of yourselves, and I will talk to you soon.